I built an automated gacha farm allowing you to get as many resources and loot as possible with barely lifting a finger, with no mods required and just you needing some patience in getting the right resource gachas. But before we explain how we did this, let's just get back to the basics on how exactly gachas work. So first thing you're going to need to do if you want your own gacha is head to the sunken forest within Extinction. Then you just got to simply find one of these lovely, lovable looking dudes wandering somewhere within the greenery and just make sure they're docile and not aggroed on anything, or else you're going to have a bit of an issue trying to tame one. For the best efficient way to tame a gacha, you want greenhouse structures. And on 1x rates, as long as you throw down a stack, it should automatically keep picking up structures from that same stack. And it looks like you're going to need about 200 greenhouse windows to tame efficiently a good 150 gacha, popping out here at 210. Now, with all and every gachas, you'll find a production wheel. If you click on that, you'll find a bunch of different things it can produce for you, with the rarest always being on the left hand side and the more common ones being on the start here and working its way around to the rarest one it's available to do. Each and every gacha has an RNG on exactly what they'll produce for you, and that includes any baby gachas bred from your mate pair. So all you need to do is get yourself one good breeding set and you're off and ready to go, with any of the baby gachas offering any of the resources available to the RNG. To get the most resources possible, you want to level up that crafting skill all the way up to 160. 1 or 2 over 160 won't hurt you, but try and aim for exactly 160 and not below it if you can. To get them producing efficiently, you'll need a mate pair and them saddled, so to keep them happy. And if you've got two of the same gender together too close, you'll find them looking very sad and not wanting to do anything for you. But there's a range limit to it, exactly 9 foundations wide. As long as you've got 9 foundations between the two same gender, they're happily produced for you as required. And now with the ASA arrival of Extinction, there's a brand new feature with Pegos able to pick up gacha crystals for you. Simply holding E on a Pego and going to enable gacha crystal collection will do the job. A 150 tamed at 225, or a Pego leveled all the way up to 225, will pick up gacha crystals at 11 foundations wide. But a 313 Pego, with obviously every level put into it, will collect at 17 foundations wide. But obviously getting a 313 Pego is probably a bit unreasonable, so we're doing this math based on a 225 Pego. Obviously, the lower the level of the Pego, the less range it's going to have. So if you can aim for that 225, that's really what you want to go for this setup, being just a few more foundations wide than a gacha's distance required to make sure they produce efficiently. Now, to get the best loot possible, you need 2 things. You need a snow owl, as you just saw there, dropping pellets, dropping its poop, of which a gacha will pick up. With snow owl pellets in its inventory, it'll buff whatever you put in its inventory for it to feed, including whatever you throw down on the floor for it to pick up. And it will pick up literally anything and everything, so you do need to be careful on what you're throwing down on the floor. You'll know if the snow owl pellets are working with a lovely plethora of glowy dots all over the back of a gacha to give you the best loot possible. And the best resource to feed a gacha, whilst you can give it anything and everything you want, is Plant Y. Plant Y traps are by far the best thing to feed to a gacha, giving you the best loot possible. And to get Y plants, you need to harvest Y seeds, which you'll get from these bushes here, found in the desert biome, which can be harvested by hand, but you really want a berry gatherer such as a stego or anything for that matter, and you'll find plenty of seeds from these pink flowers just underneath red ob. But there's one extra trick to make that automation: good old survivor mate. And if you simply make sure that your crop plot has enable automated withdrawal ticked on, and then throw in one plant species Y trap into your butler, right clicking it, adding it as an input, and then placing a box by your gachas, throwing in a plant species Y trap in there, right clicking on that, adding that as an input, and just do the max stacks possible for that box. When turning your survivor mate into butler mode,
a bit of decluttering,
it'll automatically take out the Y traps and slap them in your box. There we go. And then all you got to do now is just press O on them, throw them out, let the gachas pick up the plant species Y traps, and job's a good one. You've now got some form of automation with your gachas producing loot from plant species Y traps. Now, using that knowledge of the 9 foundations needed between your gachas and the foundation radius to your Pego, we've made an automated gacha farm with 8 gachas producing pretty much the best resources that you're going to want from gachas. And here's the general setup. So we've got a metal and crystal gacha over there, we've got a silica pearl and black pearl one over there, and up there gas and element dust, the rarest one of all. Element dust is super rare, by the way. I think it's like 1% chance to get an element dust gacha, and a polygon ore gacha over there. There's obviously different ways you could probably do this setup, but I found this was the best way to get them as close as possible and try not to take up too much of a wide space. So obviously using the foundation radius, a bit of verticality of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walls high was just enough to keep that 9 foundation wide radius between the gachas on the bottom, but obviously trying to keep a contained square radius. I couldn't go 9 foundations this way because they'd conflict with the gachas on the floor, so raise them up a bit to keep them all in a condensed area. With each gacha, there's 2 snow owls each, popping out pellets as and when, keeping them nice and buffed. And in each corner, you can see stacked crop plots all producing plant species Y-traps with the best greenhouse efficiency possible, and a storage box in place for every set of gachas. Now all that's needed is to set your crop plots, your butler and your boxes all as I just showed you before, and you can just watch your butler go to town, going back and forth to your greenhouses and start slapping them in your boxes. You do want to make sure the butler's contained though. It will have a tendency to wander off, and definitely make sure the crop plots are accessible. If they're in some weird unattainable place or even in a greenhouse door, it's a bit of a nightmare for the butlers to get to. They can reach through the walls. You just need to be careful on the butlers not working the way around the back of the greenhouses unless you've got the space for it. And it does seem you can only do 1 survivor mate at a time. I tried to do this with 2, thinking it would speed up the production, but it seems only 1 will do. But you can do this, let it set, go move all your plant species, Y-traps around, go and have a little kip. Just make sure you're rendered in, of course, during the process. And there we've got a Pego bang in the middle, a 225 as we showed before, with vaults ready to go and a grinder in case we want to decide to grind any of these loot things we're going to get. So now all we've got to do is run round to each of these boxes and just go mad. Throw all the boxes out, throw all the plants out, let the gachas start picking them all up, and there we go. And now they're going to get busy. So let's just watch all of these gachas start producing a wealth of crystals now, which our Pego's going to pick up. Start pumping out boatloads of crystals all at once, all being picked up by the Pego. With our butler already working away like a workhorse, decided to mesh himself in a box there. That's great. Pego collecting anything that's getting dropped. And with all of these gachas being leveled to 160 crafting skill, as you can see, we're getting some nice cheeky gacha crystals being dropped. And there's that survivor mate going away. And there you go, just for your reference, it is able to get the plant species Y-traps out through the greenhouse wall, so you don't need a door there. And in fact, you don't want a door there. You probably want to create access for yourself, of course, but don't leave a gap here or anything, or a door here, or an inside greenhouse space, because any door, anything at all that the survivor mate wants to catch itself on, it definitely will. As you can see, I put railings all the way around for this build because I just want to make sure the survivor mate is contained, because it'll try anything it can to access the crop plots from any direction that you didn't want it to. So you really want to dumb it down so the survivor mate will go to the right places to get everything it needs. But it works really well. Obviously, you know, you need to be logged on for this to work. You need to be in render of it at the very least. And look at this, bloody hell, survivor mate's already going to town. I'll just throw even more out. And again, like, there's different ways you can set this up. I felt like this was the best way for me, but I feel like there's definitely other ways you could probably set this up, and I look forward to seeing what others might set up. If you're curious on wanting to build this setup yourself, it's 11 by 11 foundations wide, and I'll give you a good pan around so you can see this all working. The ramps are there for the survivor mate to walk up and down, which you saw in the time lapse earlier. But damn, like, I can't even keep up with this. Like I'm back to the boxes again, throwing down even more. These are going to town, dude. And our Pego is collecting crystals. Whoa, mate. We're going to black box this. And yeah, you could probably do this at a small scale, but I think this is definitely a great thing for a solo player. If you're wondering about the corners, I did originally have crop plots there, but the survivor mate couldn't access them, so I took out the 4 corners, making sure the survivor mate would access them okay. And worth noting, these top ones, these are just about the distance apart from the gachas below. Like, if you move these a couple of inches back, they're going to get sad. This is exactly the distance with this setup. Looking at these gacha crystals, I'm guessing that was with each box full. But looking as there's gacha crystals here, I'm guessing, yeah, the Pego is black boxed. Wow. There we go. We've black boxed ourselves now. Which I probably don't want to do because I'm going to have some issues there. So let's just throw a few of these out first. In fact, let's get all of these apprentice ones. Throw them in there. And the primitive ones. Holy hell. Ramshackle ones. Did we get any journey? Okay, no journey. Alright, then we've got these standard ones. Alright, there we go. There's even more now. So from that one run alone with those 4 boxes, if we had let the survivor mate go and fill all those boxes up whilst we're AFK or something, it looks like we've got 95 crystals that have got loot and 220 that's got resources. So let's just click them and find out, right? Holy crap. Look at this. Dude. Whoa. So, what do we get then? That's 1,600 oil, 1,700 silica pearls, almost 700 black pearls, 840 poly, 1,500 crystal, 1,600 gas balls, 870 metal with what seems to be a metal gate, and we got a wooden tree platform, and a nice chunk of element dust. Obviously, you can set this up with just element gachas, but the rarity of getting just element gachas is pretty insane. But imagine that with just element gachas. So loot-wise, what did we get? I'm very curious about this. Let's have a look. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So a bunch of prim stuff. In fact, not too much prim stuff, surprisingly. Couple of ramshackle pieces. Boatload of journey gear, assault rifle, chiton, riot, long necks, pump shotties, snipers, metal picks, metal hatchets, fabricated pistols, miner hats, and flak pieces. I missed apprentice, but yeah, no, forget apprentice. Well, then again, look at the state of this man. 224, 241. Not bad, not bad, not bad. And the mastercraft. Woo, looking hot. 176 shotty there, 200 long shot there, 202 fabby pistol. Some decent flak, decent swords. Not bad. This is with the loot setting set to official, I believe. And a nice cheeky 204 Ascended metal sickle. All of which, if we really wanted to, we could grind all of these items, giving us a boatload of paste. Decent amount of pearls, hide, a boatload of poly, and a wealth of metal ingots. Worth setting up, and hopefully might see some of you making something like this yourself in the future. Might make one of these officially myself in this monarchy playthrough, so there you go. Until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, peace out.